Good Lord. What, you know what? This is it. We're going to end traumatic experience with this. I mean, like, we had already planned to end it, but, and I say end because, like, really what we're going to do is we're going to roll this into Video Vortex. So we're not necessarily killing traumatic experience. It'll just be kind of become one and the same with Video Vortex. So occasionally we'll pull a Troma title out and we'll watch it on the Vortex. So this will be the last episode of Traumatic Experience proper. And good Lord, what a way to go out. You know, we
Yeah, with the whimper, you might say, which is kind of fitting for this for this title.
like a whiz on a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, we leave Video Vortex as well, but we leave this up to the fate of a wheel spin. We literally put every Troma title on a wheel, spin it, whatever it lands on, as long as we can find a copy of it, that's what we're going to do. So we spun the wheel a couple months ago and it landed on Doggy Tails. To be more specific, the entire title is Doggy Tails Volume 1, Lucky's First Sleepover. And it was,
Damn, that means there's more than one of these.
that's the thing. Apparently, it was a planned series, and
Okay.
this is the first and only. And if you've watched it ever in your life, which I doubt anybody, I'd be shocked if anyone that didn't have something to do with the production of this video has ever watched this. Uh, you'll see why this was the beginning and the end of that, and it's also going to end traumatic experience. How do It's got two things in common. It killed itself and it killed this. How do My God. You know, and this is this isn't a movie, right? Like, could you even call this a movie?
No, it's like it's to me. You know what it plays like? It plays like, and it's the length of it also kind of verifies this, I guess, in a way. It's only about 30 something minutes, right? 31, 32 minutes.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
with credits and everything. It's like 31 minutes.
It plays like an episode of a children's weekday morning thing, like, or maybe a segment of Sesame Street or something where they go to the park and they have these things happen. And this, so but this is Troma. You don't, you're not expecting that outside of Toxic Crusaders. And, I could be wrong. I'm sure that maybe they've done some other stuff that was in the realm of children's stuff. But I don't know. I didn't know that going into this, what this was, until you start playing it, and then it's like immediately you got dogs with human voices, terribly done. It's not like they're matching. I mean, occasionally I think they may be chewing on a snack to at least make it look like they're saying something. Their jaws are moving. Most of the time, though, they're not even. They're just like being dogs, turning their head this way or that, and there's like human voices coming out of the mouth, even though they don't even try to make the mouths move.
Clear what they did here is they got a handful of shelter animals, and
Yeah.
they got permission to go in there and kind of make a little short movie with the animals, and they just got them to do stuff by giving them treats. That,
Yes.
and they probably did this over the course of 2 days, a day or two at most.
Probably. I mean, I'm guessing maybe like, all right, the intent is good natured there, because I think a little bit of the message, I guess, if there is a message behind this, is that maybe you should, if you're watching this, if you're thinking about getting an animal, maybe you should go to the shelter and check out and see what they got there, and maybe adopt one of them. That's a good message, right? That maybe that message is in there a little bit, but I mean, you're not watching a Troma production for that necessarily. So I just don't know who this is made for. I mean, it's made for animal lovers. It's made for children, but.
Made for kids. I mean, because this was the first and to date only release from Troma's Family Fun imprint.
Okay, see, yeah, I didn't know they had a Family Fun imprint even.
Yeah, that no one does. This is it. This is the Family Fun imprint. uh, and I guess it just didn't do anything whatsoever. I mean, but it does feel like something that would be on PBS,
Yeah, yeah,
like a shorter segment on Sesame Street, or at best something that you would see on like public access.
yeah. True, yeah.
That's what
It's
this.
definitely not something, like I said, you expect from Troma, and the only reason you would know it's from Troma, besides their name being attached to it, is Lloyd Kaufman is in it at the very beginning, right? In like the animal, because they're like dropping the dog off they're going on vacation, right, or going somewhere, and the dog is gonna stay here at the shelter and make friends with these other dogs for the week or two or weekend, or however many days the family's gone for, right? And Lloyd Kaufman, I guess I don't know if those were actually his children. I didn't dig into that deep.
I
I'm
don't.
not sure if you.
I don't think so. I mean, Lord knows it's Troma. There's probably some kind of family or friend connection because that's just the way they operated, but or continue to operate. But no, I don't think so. I don't think it was his family or anything like that. And that's based just on the names of the actors that I see on IMDb. Although it's hilarious. Um, the last traumatic experience that we did was Tromeo and Juliet, and that was written by James Gunn, right? Of Guardians of the Galaxy fame, and he's gone on to do tons of stuff in Hollywood. He's in this. He's one of the voices of one of the dogs in this. The dog Riley, which isn't even like the main dog in the movie. It's voiced by James Gunn. And there's another interesting actress in this one too, Jenna Fisher from The Office. Remember who played Pam in The Office? She's one of the voices of one of the dogs. Once again, not even one of the main dogs. It's the dog Kelsey in the movie. So you've got James Gunn and Jenna Fisher, and then of course Lloyd Kaufman because Troma, and then a bunch of people you've never heard of. But yeah, that's interesting for a short that was made 21 years ago,
Yeah. Yeah.
and both of them, James Gunn and Jenna Fisher, are probably start to be on the. I don't recall when The Office began, but probably not long after this, right? Because this was made in 02, came out in 03. So I want to say this was sometime within the next 5 years or so, something like that after this. But I mean, there's really not much to go into here because that's exactly what it's like. It's almost like an instructional video for watch how dogs play when they get to go to the shelter or the kennel or something like that. That's essentially what this is.
And then at the end, there was like I guess for all the dogs that they show in here, they have a little stats thing on like stats on what type of dog it is and the breed, where the breed originated and the temperament of that breed and things like that. So I guess it does. It definitely plays like it's some sort of children's educational thing on dogs. And also maybe if parents are watching that they would think about, like I said, think about checking the animal shelters if you're thinking about getting a new, pet and then maybe adopt from there.
Look, if nothing else, I don't recommend you ever watching this, but if you're a big Troma fan, and let's face it, if you're watching this, you might be because traumatic experience. It's an interesting footnote to Troma history, something like this, because it's so unlike anything else I would imagine that Troma has ever touched, outside of maybe that Toxic Crusaders cartoon, right? Because that was aimed towards kids, Saturday morning cartoon. Outside of that, like nothing about Troma in this, other than like you said, Lloyd Kaufman.
Yep. Yeah, he's in it at the beginning, and then that's it. Oh, did you say he was a voice too, or no? He wasn't a voice, was he, for the dog?
I think it was just that little bit part. He was the grandpa or whatever the hell he was, the dad, whatever he was. I don't think he did one of the voices, but once again, this is Troma. It wouldn't surprise me if he was some of them. He's not credited as such that I see, but like I said, historically, Troma wise, it's interesting for that. Like this is weird. Yeah, this is this weird little thing that they did, I guess, to try to break into the children's video market. And I guess it went over like a bag of hammers, and they never did it again. But it's interesting for that. So, what I think the more interesting thing for us here, though, is what are we going to give it? Where does it? How many Melvins do we give this? Now we give out on Traumatic Experience. We get 0 to 5. We don't give out stars. We give out Melvins. So, where the hell does something like this land? Because this is only the fourth movie or thing that we watched here for Traumatic Experience, and we started with the Toxic Avenger. And we end with this, but in between we watched Hollywood Zap and Tromeo and Juliet, and we gave Hollywood Zap 2 Melvins. This is lower than that, right?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, because like I said, it's hard to rate based on. I mean, there's no real story. It's just other than the bare bones plot of a family leaving the dog at the shelter for them to go on vacation, and the dog making friends with other dogs, and you learning about if you're, learning about these various breeds of dogs, and that's it. Really. So I mean, it's not much to go on. It was all straight up aimed for children, and not really much. And it's not the kind of thing where it's like something that's aimed for children, but the parents would enjoy, unless you just, I mean, yeah, I love animals, but I mean, I'm not such an animal lover that I need to resort to getting my entertainment by watching this as an adult. It's not Homeward Bound or anything like that.
There's a real story here. Just very, very loose threads of a story. No there's no meat on the bone, right?
Yeah. You could just tell that it was something, like I said, that they were trying to make this little, I guess, animal series. I don't know what the next episodes would have been. I don't know.
Imagine more.
But
Maybe they continue the adventures of this particular dog, or
yeah,
other shelter animals. Hell if I know.
I mean, that's the other thing, like we mentioned too. It's almost a sort of, not an advertisement, but I mean a way of like putting it out there that maybe you should check into animal shelters rather than getting a puppy,
Yeah.
from from a kennel or from a whatever, that is a message in there for that. It's like there's dogs in the shelter that need homes type thing. So
Yeah, I'd say for pure family fun, educational thing, like if you've got a 4, 5, 6 year old kid, I mean, because this doesn't cater to even like, older kids. This is like this is like kindergarten level stuff, right? So like if you've got a real little kid, less than 6 or 7 years old, this is something you could pop up and watch with them. They could get a laugh out of it. That's about it. So for me, I say this is about a half a Melvin, and that's just for the pure educational value for kids, entertainment.
I would agree with that, Half Melvin. Also, if you do watch it, you're going to get that song stuck in your head because that song plays for like 5 minutes. I think that's like 5 of the 30-minute run time or something.
Yeah, it pops and it's got like the little here's the words down on the screen, and it's got the head of the dog bouncing on the words.
Yeah.
Some dogs are big and some dogs are small.
And most of the lyrics are shake, 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 and whatnot. And then
Shake, 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 shake.
God almighty. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Get it rough? That's enough of this. So basically, like we said off the top, there is no other trauma to tease. There's no next traumatic experience. This is it. This killed us. This
How do
this gutted our souls out to have to watch this. So that's enough of this. But we are kind of folding it into Video Vortex. So you come back the same time every month for Video Vortex from here on out. And we will still occasionally throw in a trauma movie, and those will be kind of like traumatic experiences, but we're just not going to continue with this series because any more Doggy Tails type stuff, we might just, jump off a building. So that's enough.
How do I?
Now we're already going to have enough turkeys, I'm sure, with the Video Vortex because we have so much on the wheel now from like 1979 or 78 or so all the way up to now.
I think it's from 78 to present. We've put movies on the wheel that were kind of like direct to video type movies and other streaming releases, stuff like that. So yeah, we've got lots to pull from. I think it's close to 1,400 titles that we've got on this wheel. So yeah, this is one that could go on forever and ever. Amen. So that's why we just kind of decided that it's Troma. It was similar enough to Vortex. So why have two separate ones? Let's just join them together, and every month, who knows what we might be able to see. So that's pretty much it here. So for Donnie and Will, who couldn't be with us, Professor Smoke, I'm Josh. We're from the All American Spook Show podcast, which comes out every Monday at 6 p.m. East, wherever you get your podcast, or right here on the YouTube channel. We also encourage you to go check out Hammer Horror and Order, Grindhouse Gutter, lots of cool stuff going on here on the channel. So we will talk to you next week.
Are you still scared? Don't be. Let's go back to Doggy Paradise.